It was just what was in the community.
Right.
Other cultures lock away. Black and brown, I tell a joke about Big Mama being in the hospital bed in the living room because that is what we do.
That's culturally us.
Talk shows like yours, like this. This is where we show that we are intellectuals who happen to do comedy.
Right. All right, now, your partner, Big Boy, the Hangout. This is a special Hangout right here, man. It's legendary in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Sheryl Underwood and Chris Spencer's here as well.
That guy.
Hey, I don't know what titles to give to you, Sheryl. I don't know what title to. There is no title.
What's the first thing come to your mind?
Sheryl Underwood.
There it is. That's how you gotta do a comedy.
Because there is no, like, you can say comic, you can say this, but there's, there's layers to you as well.
Yes.
So, and I think that name-wise, it's just a brand, and everything kind of Sheryl falls under that.
Well, the Underwoods are trying to do something. Blair, Carrie, me.
Yeah,
we trying to do some things, right?
And there's a power in Underwood.
Absolutely.
There's a power, and you've been holding your Underwood very good, if I may say
Absolutely. So. My father prayed on it. When I told my dad that I was going to do a show called Def Comedy Jam, and my father said, "What is that?" And I said, "It's a cable show where we talk and we do nightclub material." And he got quiet because, we Church of Christ members. And I said, "What is the thought?" And he said, "Well, we're going to pray for you that God give you time like he gave Eddie Murphy time and Richard Pryor time."
Really?
And my father got to see the beginning of my career. And before he passed, the last things he said to me was, "I'm proud of you."
Wow.
And he called me his son because I was his firstborn. And when we were alone together, he would say, "Son, I'm very proud of you."
Really?
And that keeps me going. A lot of people think because we're adult comics and I'm really more adult than you are, they think that there's some shame to that. But if you name the greatest comics that we love, they're adult comics that become mainstream comics.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you know you wanted to do comedy from the giddy up?
I started in sexual interpretive dance. That's how I'm going to say it for my church friends.
Go ahead now.
But,
you started in what?
Sexual interpretive dance.
Sexual interpretive dance.
Yes, it was called lingerie modeling in a tavern in Chicago.
Hello.
The place is still open.
Hey, can we put the pictures up there, you guys?
There you go.
No, we got the pictures.
Yes,
no, it's bullshit. Hey, dude, she didn't even look back at the monitor.
I look back and see what pictures y'all got to make sure it's me. right. But what the wild part about it was, God will let you know what you're not supposed to be doing. So I'm in this tavern, I put this lingerie on, you're supposed to model it out, and then the guy will buy it and you're supposed to strip it off. But I wasn't good at it, couldn't walk in heels. So I just started to tell jokes. So all them hood dudes would start to tip me for the jokes being funny.
That's
so that's when I knew.
Were you still telling jokes in lingerie though?
Yes.
Oh, I heard that.
Yes, and taking off my shoes and talking, when a hood dude like, "Oh, you funny. And there was one dude that I think he was the most senior of the street men. He said, "You shouldn't be here. I'm going to take you home." And on the car ride home, we talked about what I wanted to do. I said, "I want to go to college. I want to do this. I want to do that." And he was very smart. A lot of people don't understand. Street dudes are really, really smart because they run the business.
And that man's name was Bishop Magic Donald.
Right.
Listen, I know the bishop personally.
Church.
And had I been working for the bishop, I wouldn't have to do all this comedy work.
Right.
No, you would have. My money and invested it.
No, you would have, because he take everything,
Well, no, see, I would have been pinching some away.
Off the top?
Yeah.
Right.
Bishop, he only gave me 15.
All right, well, that's been tried, but we won't go down there. We won't go down there.
But you know what? The bishop is a really good man. Really good man, give you some really good seasoned sage advice. I knew the bishop from the west side of Chicago.
Man, did you know that they cut the bishop's leg off?
I heard something was going on with his health.
Yeah, man, health-wise, man. That's what we're talking about too. Health is wealth.
That's right.
I remember one time I was with the bishop, my man was like, "Yeah, big boy, man, I ain't never been to the doctor, man." Yeah. And I was like, there's a difference between never going to the doctor, no disrespect, then you gotta go to the doctor.
That's right. You need to go.
You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, "Yeah, I never had a piece of chicken in my life. That's a chicken leg, man."
Really?
And then he took, you know, you got the little pats of butter, the little squares of butter. He was just sticking them into his mashed potatoes. Like 8, 9, 10. I was like, "Oh shit."
No.
But health is wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Health is wealth. I got the greatest doctor in the world, Dr. Zuri Morel, Zurimorel. Murrell.
Is he out here?
Yes, out
Yeah.
here. Colorectal brother, Morehouse man over at Cedars-Sinai. I love all my doctors, but Dr. Zuri, different kind of love.
Watch.
Because he understands, you got to have, and definitely a male doctor. Female doctors are great. But when you're talking about somebody that's in the leadership position and somebody that can explain you culturally, sunlight, vitamin D, not eating processed food, not letting stress kill you.
I got to figure that part out.
And the options for us, first time they want to cut on you, but you can't fix it back. And different things that are options for us. I was one of the first celebrities to admit I was on Saxenda and now I'm on Wegovy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they lower the price of this drug, this pharmaceutical, then maybe everyone can get the benefits of it. No pre-diabetes, no diabetes, no high blood pressure. Sometimes you need a little medical help.
Yeah. And that's what I tell people as well. My sister, a few years ago, she had a stroke, right? And the doctor pulled me to the side and he said, your sister's stroke was preventable.
See?
And I'm like, really? And he was like, yeah. We didn't know my sister was on medication, but she was the one that was like, oh, I'm just going to try the juices. You got to have a little bit of going to the doctor, at least checking your levels and things like that.
That's right. Get your lab work done and do these things under a doctor's care so you can modulate it. Because sometimes they put you on this medication, that medication, and they fighting against each other.
Right.
And that's why we need more of these young people. Go to school. You could be a nurse practitioner. You can still be holistic because that's in our culture. Right. But then you can also be a medical doctor, and we need more surgeons. We need more people that look like us, anesthesiologists.
And then when you talk about kind of Western and homeopathy, you need some of this and that because I do this and that.
Yes, that's right. You got to do this or that. That's
Chris
right.
Spencer.
Yes,
How you doing, my brother?
Okay, we sorry.
Chris,
No, that's right.
Hey, dude.
We're talking like not only are you not here, you never been sick.
Yes.
See, sick people get together. Sick people, what are you on?
What's great is just to hear your heroes in front of you. You know what I mean?
I'm over here too.
Huh?
I'm over here.
Let me put her first.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying when you say hero, let me. Oh okay, I'm over here.
No, because
You're talking about radio hero right here.
Just hero in general.
Oh, that's that big
Still
boy.
want to, I still want to be big boy.
When he said big boy, he thought it was coming to sit with a homie from Outkast.
That's it. Yes. It's great to hear all this health because all of us have people around us that ignore the signs that something's wrong.
Yes.
Like I 3 people this week told me they have gout.
Really?
And they still eating fried chicken.
Right.
I'm like, what's the goal?
My doctor
They trying to get
told
gout on
me,
the other foot?
when I first, one of my other doctors, my OBGYN doctor, Dr. Lewis Wyatt, a great man at Kappa Alpha Psi. He was also at Cedars. I don't know if he's retired yet. He did my lab work and he said, what are you eating a lot of? I said, well, I'm not eating a lot of it, but I love lamb chops. They little bitty lamb chops and they make you think you're not eating a lot.
Right.
He said, you can't eat it anymore. I said, why not? He said, you suffering from affluence. I said, what?
Ooh.
Yes. When you start making money and you're eating a different way.
I thought he was going to say, don't eat the lamb chops because they're bad.
Boom ching.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boom ching.
Just trying to lighten up the room a little.
That's right. I'm here all
that's
week.
why.
I'm here all week. Get this real quick.
And that's why. Hey man, let me hold on to this. Hey man, Chris, how long you think you've been doing comedy?
Decades.
Yeah. Because
That's as good
I
as
asked Cheryl the same thing.
That's as
I
good
said,
as
Cheryl, how
Cheryl.
long you been doing decades?
Decades.
Comedy. She said decades.
Decades.
Well, in this business, you can't confirm or deny your age because then that's what they tell you can't do.
Gotcha.
You can't be the love interest. You can't be the hero. You can't be the this.
Right.
And when we have experience and we going up against another comic that may be a little bit more commercial or in a different socioeconomic or racial background, then we don't get the spot because we done aged out.
Yep.
But then when you need help, where you go?
Us.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters right
Man,
there.
Chris, where did comedy start for you, bro?
Weren't you working in the strip club right next to me?
I was the guy who told you to come home.
That's
Yeah. He the one who called you out the club.
That's right.
It's a shit I say.
I want to be saved. I love you.
I started in late 80s, early
Late 80s,
90s.
really?
Yep. I went to UCLA, and so we would perform. We had like a little comedy group. And then when entertainment would come to UCLA, I was the guy that would open for them. So my first paid gig was for Public Enemy.
Really?
Wow. We just had Chuck here
I
last
had
week.
5 minutes of material. Public Enemy was 45 minutes late.
No.
I bombed for 40 minutes.
Oh.
No.
Hey, man.
And then my last joke.
You
Go ahead.
falling out the sky? Like, was it bad? How bad was it?
It was one of them kind where like you
Give
try
me
to pick
one of
on
the worst
you try to
jokes.
pick on people. No, there was no more jokes. The 5 minutes was up.
so you-
The 5 minutes of killer was done.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So they was late. So now I'm trying to do crowd work. I'm telling the owner, I'm pretending like the promoter's calling me. Huh? You think stay?
Hey, man, is this a Public Enemy crowd you're in front of?
It's the UCLA audience. So
But
yes,
they came
that's what
to
they were
see
hot.
Public
Yeah.
Enemy.
They came to see Public
And
Enemy.
here you are.
Yeah.
Here we are, this 20-year-old who's trying to entertain us, and we want to see Flavor Flav.
Do you feel like comics miss that today, though? There's this process of open mic nights and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and you don't get that as much
Absolutely.
now.
You go first.
They don't get seasoned.
No.
Yeah.
They think likes are better than laughs.
Mm.
Oh, man. Dab it up.
Wow.
Dab it up. These youngins out here. These youngins.
So they
believe it.
get these opportunities, and then they go out there and then they struggle.
Right.
But there's not us, performing at strip clubs and
Yes.
pimps' birthday
Right.
parties and
Yes.
and
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy.
Yes.
I'm talking about the gully.
Goody Mob. I opened for Goody Mob.
Yes.
And it's
I'm
different.
talking about when you don't
Yeah.
get paid
You right.
and you fight with the promoter and it's they don't go through none of that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
There
I
was a
remember
struggle.
auditioning for Def Jam at the Peppermint in Orange, New Jersey. Marvin Dixon got up and did the Jamaican dance hall girl
Right.
thing where he strips down,
Yeah.
tore the room apart, right? And then I'm doing political material and sexual material. Bill Bellamy brings me up. I've had a triple shot of gin straight, smooth, neat, drink it straight down, get on stage, do 20 minutes. I need a gangster bitch. Apache
Yep.
runs over to me and picks me up off the ground and go, that's how you do a set.
Oh,
That's
you
how
killed?
I don't remember much of what
Right.
happened after the gin kicked in. But the point of it is, I think sometimes you might be a comic, but you gotta bomb. You gotta fail.
Sure.
Because you gotta know how to pull that ripcord. You gotta know how to pivot those jokes. You gotta know everybody's doing crowd work now, but you're already a fan of the person doing the crowd
Right.
work, not the skill.
Is there a taboo or to crowd work as much as you seeing it now?
Only from the people who can't do it.
That's right.
They
That's
go,
right.
they frown upon
Do you feel
it.
like
Yeah.
crowd
You
work
ain't got no
is
jokes.
a
Yes.
crutch now?
For some people,
yeah.
I think for
Yes, for
some
sure,
people,
for sure.
I think for some people, they get away with it because now it's about your personality. Crowd work, sometimes you got to have some jokes in your pocket. Improv
Exactly.
work and crowd work, you better have some standbys
Right.
in your pocket. So you'll see somebody in different cities, but the crowd work is similar, but you got to be good. And you really got to have the skill, don't you think?
And like Eric Blake was great at, is
Yeah.
we, and you as well, we have the ability to play with the crowd and then let that segue into material.
And come back.
Yeah.
Come back to yourself.
Blah, 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 blah. Look at that shirt. I had a shirt like that. I remember my mother, blah, 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 and now I'm in the material.
Yeah. You know the
Yeah.
greatest?
Hmm.
Joe Torry.
Oh
Uncle
my
Joey
God,
Yes.
dude.
over at
The Funhouse?
Regency.
Regency,
Regency
Comedy Act
West.
Theater.
Yeah, Comedy
Comedy
Act Theater.
Act.
But
I
you
remember I
know,
went there, man. Robin Harris toured me apart, but we talk about that later.
listen to me. When you talking about watching Robin Harris live
Yes.
and watching Bernie Mac live and J.
Oh,
Anthony
yeah.
Brown
Live. People sleep on J. Anthony Brown.
That's right. But you know who else? Who is the brother? Carolina West.
Ooh.
Passed. Ricky Harris.
Oh my God, Ricky was a beast.
Yes.
Carolina
Off
West.
the top,
Used to be
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, man.
Off the top.
Ricky
Off the dome.
off the top. Ricky Harris was a beast.
And
Yeah.
Ta-da, great
Ta-da.
character.
yes.
Great character. Great
So
character.
yeah, so all of that is missing. There's a lot of they play with they're doing so much crowd work now that they're showing the crowd. There's a cameraman on stage showing the crowd,
Right.
because you get a free laugh if I go, did you see his shoes?
Right.
The crowd's already laughing. Now they're showing the crowd reaction. It's like there's no joke to it, but the fact that I've acknowledged that you might have on some goofy shoes, you know what I mean? They're getting away with free laughs.
Yes.
But the good ones can take that and do something with it.
How do y'all deal with hecklers?
It depends on how
Right.
they heckle.
Well, you got
Do you get
certain
them?
jokes.
And then now you probably don't get any now or more now because
I
how
get 'em.
established. Really?
No, they
Do
think
you
they
get
helping.
hecklers that think that they can help you with
Yeah,
the
they
show
think they
because
helping.
it's a
After the
call
end
and
of the show, to be
response?
like, yo,
I made your set.
Yeah.
You see what I did?
And then we feel like we can talk to you too, though, Cheryl.
Yes.
You feel like cousin sister,
sometimes,
you know what I'm saying?
sometimes there's, if we're working on something, I don't want nobody talking to me.
Right.
I'm about to do a special. I got to get ready.
That's crazy that you said working on something because some comedians don't even work out anymore, bro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they don't work out like you. Like, I like to work out. I watch Chris Rock. And when Chris Rock work out, sometimes I see him with the pad.
Absolutely.
Deion Cole, see him with the pad. But for me, I like to put the new joke in between the season joke.
Absolutely.
So I can get the cadence. But for me, with hecklers, I want my audience to communicate back and forth to me, even if it's a eye roll, even if it's a breathing under your breath. I want to feel that so I know which way to come in and come out, especially once you have more diversity in your crowd. White women, gay people, Hispanics. You want to see if the jokes can translate over. But I think I agree with you. When they get too talkative and now I'm losing my cadence, I give a nod to security. And they know, pull that check and get your ass up out of here. And I warn them too. If you don't calm the fuck down, can I say that?
Yeah, of course you can.
If you don't calm the fuck down, I'm gonna have to make a move, and I don't want to make a move, right? Because then you could turn the audience off. If you throw somebody out of the set, right? Then the audience might turn on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn.
And was it boots on the ground? Where them fans at? Now everybody bringing a fan to the show.
Oh my God.
Oh, really?
Is that good for you too, though? Now with boots on,
No, I mean, and they feel like they helping. No, give me an
Are you familiar with boots on the ground?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
But I'm thinking it might be great for a female show. If they do it at my show, it's weird.
Right.
It's all right.
Or you crossed over to it. There's a great audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all right for a little while, but good.
But don't do it all night.
But see, in my show, they do it all night and they happy, and I'm like, okay.
It's almost like an applause now, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And sometimes it throws off your cadence, but I'm not against my audience bringing stuff, having fun. I like to see my audience when they done got high and smoked a little and drank a little, and then you cover it in and go, where your drinks? I don't need no drink. Okay, I'm cool with that. But you're gonna buy some of this chicken now that you got the munchies because we doing food and beverage. But I love my audience now because not only did they grow up with us, but they're bringing people.
Yeah.
The only uncomfortable is when I was doing Caroline's in New York and somebody brought their child.
I hate that.
Really?
Okay,
Why?
Because now I'm editing. I don't want to edit. I don't like my mom in the audience.
Right.
My mama came to see me. My mom, my
Why is it different? Is it
now
my stepmama.
Now it don't matter. But before I'm just, I don't want to have to think. I don't like my wife in the audience.
Right.
I'm editing. I'm editing. I'm not on autopilot.
Hey, Chris, was speaking of
my
mental.
whole act is about my mom and my wife.
Speaking of mental editors, though, now with comedy was like that safe space that we went to. You could say anything. It could be the most tragic shit, and we found the joke in it.
Yes.
I remember even after 9/11, there was something on Saturday Night Live, and it was like, can we go back to joking again? Right. And that's an outlet. But now, everybody's super sensitive.
It's kind of coming back, and you kind of mentioned it earlier. There's some stuff that they can do.
Right.
That we are like,
the R word.
The R word, the F word.
And I got a good R word joke because my sister's disabled, and she cannot read, write, or talk. But I describe her as the Beyonce of all people, and you can get the visual.
Right.
Yeah, my sister's gorgeous, right? But she can't read, write, or talk. One day, I want y'all to come see that joke told live.
Right. When you tell the joke, do you say the R word or do you say...
I tried to use disabled and it doesn't roll like it used to roll.
Right.
So then when I saw these white boys bringing back the R word, I was like
saying it.
I was like, bet hard.
And with your sister, growing up, what was the definition? Because with my brother, it was, you said, Heath is slightly retarded.
That's right.
That was that.
But it wasn't a negative.
It wasn't a negative.
That was the scientific.
It wasn't. And everybody in the neighborhood knew and looked out for Keith and looked out for my sister. It was just what was in the community. Other cultures lock away. Black and brown. I tell a joke about Big Mama being in the hospital bed in the living room because that is what we
That's
do.
culturally
Hell
us.
yeah.
That's right.
And then also, when we used the word retarded back then, it was never to a handicapped person.
That's right.
It was to this motherfucker that missed the left-hand layup.
That's it.
Retarded motherfucker.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, your mom, teacher, if you retarded niggas don't clean up this goddamn house,
That's right.
that's how we use it.
That's right.
It was never pointed towards a handicapped person.
Right.
Ever.
Do you find yourself having to do mental edits now too? Because even in radio, I find myself where I'm like, I'm almost curling my toes just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that it's taken away from me, but there's a different version of me that I have to present a little bit because I am conscious of the bullshit. And people say, keep it real, keep it real. And I can keep it real fired. I can keep it real broke. I can keep it real off the air.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
or that's why I love working in radio. But I'm like you. When I work in radio full time, or I'm coming in to sit in for a week, I dread that flashlight coming on. Cause that means either the PD or the operation manager, somebody about to talk to you about something.
Yeah. Right.
Or when they call you and you got to walk down the hall.
Hey, big, come see me after your show. I'm like, shit. What the fuck did I say?
That's right. What did I do?
But even with guests now, a guest could say something. You know, we bring a lot of comics on and everything. A guest could say something, and then even if you go, ha, it's like, Big Boy laughed at when he said, you know.
That's right. Co-signed.
I co-signed it.
Well, you know what I do when I go in, I ask, what are the words you don't use? And what is the community not liking? I know the big 7, but what are the words that you what don't you talk about?
It's why we got to be that conscious too.
Yes, yes. But sometimes, I don't know. Do you care?
It depends.
Right.
If we're talking about on the radio and stuff, I got to respect the station, the sponsors.
And the community.
Yeah, and the community. But if you're at a show, like you read the room, right? There's sometimes I'm going to murder a heckler.
That's right.
And there's sometimes I'll go, okay, I need to get to this. A nice little poop pap. But then there's sometimes you forget to murder them and then you get a poop pap back. Let me tell you a story. At the Laugh Factory one night, and this dude is yelling stuff. I'm like, okay. And then I'm about to hit him. I see he's in a wheelchair. I go, oh, shit. So he's still talking. I don't say nothing. Show ends. We go into the lobby. Zzz. Hey, how can you say that about me? I said, well, you know. He says, why, am I not normal?
No, you're not.
No, he wanted you to hit him. You should. You should invite him back to the second show.
I said exactly. I said, you're not.
You're not. No.
You're not.
But see,
and I pushed him into the street.
Right. Kick the wheelchair over. See, I'm going to go with you. Why you ain't kick the wheelchair over? Why is you talking to me, man? You know,
there's just some shit you just thinking like, oh, man, can I say? Because even right now, I was about to say, disconnect his battery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But listen, that kind of stuff is coming back. The audience
and
is
bringing it back.
But you know, sure, I think we're seeing it too. Because I think even like Chappelle is laying on a lot of grenades.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For us.
Yeah.
But he's so sophisticated with what he does, and he's a great storyteller. And if you go to my Instagram page, I think there's 2 times. One, a guy, because at the end of the show, we bring guys out the audience. We don't care about race. We don't care about sexual orientation. We don't care if you're married or single, whatever. We bring guys up, and they win some of my money. Well, 2 times. One time, guy gets up. He's in a wheelchair. This dude kills it in the wheelchair. Then another time, I think it was Tommy T's in Pleasanton. Guy gets up on stage. He's sexy as a mug, right? All the ladies, He pulls off his prosthetic leg.
Oh my God.
And kills the room. And I
hit him with it?
No, he just pulled it out. No, and I was still hit. I think I did 20 minutes on how we are going to, can I say it?
Go ahead.
How we gonna fuck. Yeah. And it's gonna be like a kickstand, and you don't fall down. And when you come, I hope you don't fall out the bed. And I'm just, because it's to me, that's what I love about nightclub work. Nightclub work is politically incorrect.
I miss hearing you talk like this because you've been on CBS for 14 years. I miss this Sheryl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That Sheryl.
That Sheryl was at the club.
But that Sheryl was sitting next to him in the middle of the break. It was in the middle of the break because you've been to the show.
Oh yeah.
When we go to break, all bets is off.
But did you get with the talk? Did you get where someone would come out to see you and didn't know your comedy, but they knew you from the panel? And not that it was like they were taking them back, but they just didn't know your comedy.
I have an opening set of material that explains the words that I'm going to use, the sexuality of the show. And I've been doing it before I got on the talk, but I had to do it, to your point, I had to do it more because I love Sheryl, you know. But you know what made him mad? When I was a little bit cleaner and political, because I'm a registered Republican, but I'm a never ever Trumper, right? I believe I'm the spook that sat by the door. So when I get into that material and they yell out, I came to hear jokes, and then I have to explain to them evolution of comedy and wait, and let me get to these sexual jokes that you're gonna love. You just don't like my politics right now. But to your point, the talk broadened out my audience where they wanted to hear the hardcore sexual material that everybody's in line going, I hope Sheryl tell a joke about the basketball player, the football player, and using the ice and the Vicks Vapor Rub on the dude. And I know, y'all look at me like, what?
There's some shit too that everybody here seen your material and we like, man, what that mouth do? Like,
yes.
Like, shit, you suck about. I'm like,
yes. And you know what? And I have a line where all the men, especially the white men and the Hispanic men, I want the black toy for Christmas.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Why? Because of what I'm talking about. But it is nightclub material. And I'm a male director act. Would you say I'm not really a female? I'm female enough. But my set was written because I kept hearing female comics of all races down men for an hour and a half. Who is going to speak to these brothers as somebody that's sitting at the bar listening to them and talking about sports? We talking about who is Aaron Rodgers going to right now that he got a 1-year deal at one of them Pittsburgh or Philly teams where he going somewhere. I would sit with a man in a bar or a strip club or after hours talking, laughing, and joking. And then they would come back to the show. So I'm a man's comic who's still a girl.
Do you do politics in your set?
A lot. I do.
Really?
Matter of fact, the first time of my set.
Are you a registered Republican? Did you vote for Trump the first go around?
No, I did not.
So you said never ever?
No, I voted for Senator Obama to become President Obama to stay President Obama. I really wish Biden would have ran when Hillary ran and Hillary be the vice president and then she go on.
Right.
But I campaigned for Hillary Clinton. I campaigned for Joe Biden, Vice President Biden to become President Biden. And I campaigned for Kamala Harris. And I just feel like everything that's happening now, it's great political comedy fodder. When you're talking about the greatest, when you're talking about Dick Gregory, when you're talking about Godfrey Cambridge, when you're talking about the greatest Black political humorist, Richard Pryor, Moms Mabley, Marsha Warfield, Whoopi Goldberg, and now all of us, we should be talking about that. And I talk about Elon Musk and I talk about assassination.
Even today with Elon, you was on top of your shit. I was like,
yes.
You was talking about it before it hit the press. Are you always that in tune with what's going on in the world?
I would hope to be. Sometime I get it wrong. When I first started talking about George W. Bush, I was getting booed. And then, it was Jamie Foxx and Marcus King that put me on Laugh-A-Palooza. And I did, you were talking about September 11th? I did some September 11th, post-September 11th material, but it was hood-driven. I thought I was going to bomb because everybody was getting up and doing their club sets in Atlanta.
I was there.
You was there? No! You saw it?
It was brilliant.
I thought I was going to bomb. And I told Marcus, I said, I'm not going to do well because I'm doing pro-American material. But I would say of the jokes, buy stock. What is it? Stock too risky. Well, you buy a lottery ticket every Friday. What the fuck is that? Right. That's one of my proudest. About the terrorists, they came into this country with $30,000 cash, went to a flight training school. Nobody told on them. A nigga can't rent a car with cash without you telling on us.
Yeah, good luck.
And those are my proudest.
And those are years ago? Because those jokes stand today.
Today, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. When you write a really great joke, it's like Henny Youngman, Take My Wife, Please. Right. Don't just toss out the really great joke.
Absolutely.
You can write every day, but you can't polish every day.
Do you do political?
Yeah.
In your show?
I think I can't say it's your comedic duty as a Black comedian to do it, but I feel it is. I have to touch upon what's going on, or I'm
what would
blind.
you say today?
I can tell you what I did last night.
Yeah, please.
What you do?
I talked about.
I've been doing this Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
So don't say it.
Yes.
Right.
I've been doing that at the Miracle Theater. Whatever you say, I'm gonna repeat.
June 6th and 7th. No, I'm talking about my white friends, who have buyer's remorse that bought Trump, that voted for Trump, right?
Okay.
And I could tell the ones that did, first of all, they're so sensitive that they think I think they're racist for voting for Trump. I said, no, motherfucker, I knew you were racist before Trump.
Right, yeah.
Yes, I'm your friend because you belong to Riviera Country Club, and I need to go there every now and then.
That's it.
And so I could tell the white friends that voted for Trump because they're real extra sensitive around me.
Yes.
So whenever they talk about something black, they always have to put a compliment behind it.
Yes.
So Mike, what happened to your car? This black motherfucker, good looking guy, 6'6", Rhodes Scholar, smart as hell. The whole family looked like the Huxtables. They were great. He accidentally hit my car.
Right.
Accidentally. But when they talking to their Trump friends, the MAGAs with them, it's all kind of the
Yeah, and then I gotta hit the Latinos that voted for Trump.
Right.
Oh yes, I feel so bad for them.
Oh, yeah. You know what I do? I go up to them and go, "Ice."
Can y'all come sit on the couch, please? Moses?
Yes. You even got black people. You love the Latinos. You got a black dude with a blanket on.
Oh, you talking about David Raymond Jr.?
Yeah.
Look like David
Those
Raymond.
them is Air Harachis. So yeah, I think it's our comedic duty, especially now that we are Unc and Auntie and OG. Like the young comics look to us for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would feel wrong. I can't. It's too much shit going on to not.
Right, man. It's like 9 elephants in the room now.
Right, but we were young comics. I was doing OJ jokes.
Oh yeah.
You know, back then, and I was a young comic.
Yeah,
We were
Rodney
doing
King jokes.
Rodney King
Yeah.
joke. I don't call it a riot. I called it a rebellion.
Mhm.
We had got fed up with everything that was going on. So we were doing those jokes beforehand. We were doing Michael Jackson jokes. We were doing stuff that was not supposed to be touched upon.
Yes.
Back then. R. Kelly.
Yep. Police brutality.
Yes.
Everything.
Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's wild because even now things are kind of like, oh, we can't touch that. You know, we can't touch it. We can't touch it. And I'm like, man, but you do see things coming around a little bit more.
I think it's
now.
tragedy plus time equals funny.
There you go.
Now some stuff we know is taboo.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's people
don't mess with Jesus.
Right.
Don't. You can only tell certain types of Jesus.
That is so funny. I had a little week where I was gonna tell some Jesus jokes. When I said it worked in the white rooms, but not the black rooms.
Not at all.
Worked in the white rooms, not
you
the
talk
black
about
rooms.
The Lord. No. I used to have this old joke that I still have not polished to completion. It was called Jesus Christ Fish and Chips. It was a Jesus Christ. It was Jesus Christ on the fish and chip place, and the apostles was working there, and they had little tattoos on their hand and everything. And they, it was all Jesus, but it was really churchy stuff. But it was borderline inappropriate.
Right.
And so sometimes you think when I get famous enough,
it'll work.
I'm gonna bring this joke.
How long you think you had it in your backpack?
Oh, decades.
Right. Because even just the title.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It make you laugh. Okay, so you're gonna have me work on it? You're gonna have me polish it? Because it's also a good sketch.
It's brilliant.
It's
You know what's wild about sitting here is that we've done the talk so many times together. And y'all always treated me amazing over there.
Thank you.
And then Chris, together, we did Vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That was a great 11 weeks.
11. But let me ask you with Vibe. Because when Vibe came in, those were like corporate shoes to fill. It's Quincy Jones. It's this pressure of, we didn't have it and now we got someone.
Yes.
Did you feel that pressure, Chris, when it came to Vibe?
Not really. But the problem was they launched 2 black dudes at the same time.
And that's you and
me and Keenan. So now this audience that was missed from Arsenio now has to split.
We got to choose.
You know what I mean? I felt like it was done purposeful. Like I never ever talked about it like this, but it was like, why would you put 2 shows on at the same time at 11 o'clock?
Do you remember that Teddy Carpenter was...
I went to his pilot.
Okay. Before Arsenio.
Not before Arsenio, but before me. It was supposed to go, it was Arsenio, then Teddy.
So then where was DL? Because didn't DL have a talk show?
DL did one.
On Channel 11.
Yep.
DL had a talk show. So,
but did he go? He went
Teddy's was a pilot.
Yeah, okay.
And then Bill Bellamy did one. John Salley did one.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson, the Magic Hour.
Oh, yeah, the Magic Hour. Hey,
Magic Johnson made me not a question on Jeopardy, which was who was the black talk show host who spent the least amount of time on air.
How long was Magic going?
Magic is 7 weeks, I think.
And you
Really?
did 11. Well, I will tell you this. I told a joke, speaking of the BET Comic View reunion.
Yeah.
I did a joke on Comic View, I think. It was about comparison of struggles from the civil rights movement to other people's struggles. And I laid it all the way out, get a standing ovation, but GLAAD puts me on their website as a homophobe. And at
Back then.
And then I was wondering why I couldn't get a lot of stuff. And I guess they call it allyship now. And my manager, gay black man at that time, I said, well, let's go talk to them so we can get to know, and everything is a teachable moment. He was like, no, they too militant, this. And I said, but I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to hurt them. But just because I'm pro-me don't mean I'm anti-you. Right. But I need to get this out of my system. Great joke. He was telling it for a few years. And that's when a brother pulled me to the side and said, I'm gonna show you some art in my office. Go to the office. And he points to the picture, but then he says, let me tell you why you're not gonna get this. You're being blacklisted. You're not gonna get this job. You're not gonna do this. I said, well, then why am I here? They wanna meet you, you know? And for a long time, that was happening. And what I learned is you have to have a little diplomacy in certain jokes. But sometimes people are just not gonna get it, but it's not for them to get it.
Right.
It's not for them to get it. If your audience is offended, they should be offended because the joke was written for offense.
Right.
Right? I think Bill Burr is one of the greatest comics in the world.
Absolutely.
You know? And some people can't handle it. We've sat with white comics and they just saying how they feel.
Dude, Bill seems like one of those people that's just tired of the shit.
That's right.
And he's like that right here.
He's like that
Bill
right
on
here.
stage, if he's sitting right here, he's fucking brooding and complaining.
Yeah, man.
Like, can we
But he
finish up?
says the wildest shit, and then you see the sister that he married to, and you be like, what? And then you have Gary Owens on the other side. There you go. But we are the most welcoming culture.
Absolutely.
Come on in.
That's right. Come on in.
Yeah. Yeah, take that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you can take that.
That's right.
You can take that.
Yeah, that's right.
And then don't tell anyone where you got it from.
You better know it. I got a joke where I tell all women, black and brown, if somebody else come in this mug, and she'd be like, so what's the copy machine do? I didn't know. I didn't even know that was a copy machine. Right. I thought it was the ice maker. What is this? You teach somebody to do it, now that's your supervisor. So those are jokes that I'm telling in solidarity. That's right, with certain
and
types
that's why
of
I
people.
can't date you, sister.
That's it. But I've sampled everything God have made on the Buffet of Love, and I got jokes about that too. So I'm saying all of this to say, this is a great time to be a comic. You can do radio, you can do TV, you can do movies, you can do podcasts.
And you can create your own audience.
That's
too.
right. That's right. But just be ready. The backlash is temporary. It's not forever. And if you lose a job because you've told a joke, so what? Somebody likes that joke and somebody's gonna pay you for that joke. So don't worry about it. Just don't be, I don't wanna be offensive. I don't know if you.
No.
Right.
But I love the poke.
Yeah,
I love the poke.
But then there's some people too that it's the shock. It's not even trying to deliver the joke, trying to get there. It's just the shock.
They want a reaction.
Yeah, they want the reaction.
And that's the person that should be punched in the face.
Right.
Because you say the wrong stuff.
Have you ever had anyone to try to jump on stage on you?
You, girl.
Or got mad?
I've had dudes I've tried to like say something to and they go on now.
Yeah, and you know that.
I was like, no, what on?
Hey man, but you know what? There's some things that you just know.
You know.
Like, oh man,
we don't know what he's been through. We don't know what he's been through.
Yeah.
But see, I try to soften it.
I've tried. I'm just saying.
Well, you can't because you're a man. Certain men, it's a challenge.
Right.
It's a man challenge, right? But I have had a full glass beer mug with beer in it thrown at my head in Monrovia. Now, I had no idea.
Louisiana or California?
No, California. I didn't know we wasn't supposed to be in Monrovia because they out there go branding to death in Monrovia. It's certain locations in California. Was this recent? This is way back. But a lot of people don't understand. They think California is this liberal place. It is not. It's one of the most conservative, borderline bigoted, borderline racist. And now they really mad because they're being overwhelmed. But all these people that you're not giving them due process, all these people that you pushing out the country, Payback's about to be a bitch because you're not going to do what these people are doing, and you're not respecting these people. You're not respecting the very people that you open the door and welcome them. Now you pushing them out.
How do you feel when you turn on the TV every day and you see something that's being either canceled, denied, pulled away, DI'd, or you know what I'm saying? Like, we got not even 7 months of Trump. And we've seen that. I remember I told my wife and I told the neighborhood, I said, oh, don't trip. We only got 3.5 more years of this. You know, when you turn on your TV or turn on wherever you get your news source from, what do you see that you feel is like, oh, this shit is crazy?
I see jokes. I see jokes. I watch CNN all night long. Then I turn on Fox and see how they're going to manipulate and blow somebody's mind. I personally, I see great jokes to be told and then get that money and that power and that respect and then take it and turn it into political action. But what do you see?
I'm gonna start doing that.
Right.
That's what I see.
I just see myself pissed off.
I try not to watch the news as much, but now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you get so jaded. But like stuff like, you know, we got a travel ban.
That just came back again.
You see what the color of the countries?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You said the color of the countries.
That's right.
None of them are, nobody here is that color.
Well, but there's a reason why. We pushing Christian nationalism and white supremacy until you need a plane. Then you're going to go somewhere and beg for a plane. And they're going to give it to me. And then they go, we've never said we give it to you.
We give you a deal on the plane.
I like the Chinese. The Chinese come straight out and go, we ain't talking to Trump. And bump them tariffs. Okay, you got 100, I got 150.
Yeah, man.
Now what you trying to do?
It's like some card game shit. Raise you.
That's right. Big bank say little bank. Everybody buying Shein and Temu. You looking stupid right now because you hooked to this commerce. And the Chinese say, I'm going to outmaneuver you. Same thing with AI. But that's where the jokes, the humorous discussion, talk shows like yours, like this. This is where we show that we are intellectuals who happen to do comedy.
Right. What about people that just tell you, shut up and do your jokes? Not political, just like the shut up and dribble, shut up and, because I even get it sometimes where I could just say something and I don't even lean hard. And they'd be like, oh, you know, that's what Biden did to the country and that's what this, that's what that.
You woke.
And, you woke.
Yes.
Remember when woke was our word? And it was good?
They took it.
Remember Bishop? Remember just stay woke? Like, stay woke, bro. You know, now it's like woke is like, whoa.
Yeah.
They woke up and woke.
And then they argue they woke. All the things we doing is for America. And then you have 1 or 2 blacks for Trump at a rally and you think you got us all. But did you pay them? Or was they really there? Or how's that working out?
And you'll get your ass whooped if you didn't wear that hat around them.
Listen to me.
That's an identification.
Because they buck up and they think they can say something to somebody. But that's why I love social media. Because they filming them fights. They filming that big black woman dragging a Karen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, get her. Now all we need is the lawyers and the money. I watch some of those
videos where I'm like,
It's sickening because that's how I wake up. It's like,
oh man.
It's addictive.
Is social media the gift and the curse for you though?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, because
it's such a great tool.
Yes.
I personally don't like, I don't know, do you let your set be recorded?
By the
audience.
Sometimes, just because I don't do the road as much as you, so I might need that clip right there to promote the show that's in town. You know what I mean? So, but I won't let them do anything they want with it.
Right.
I might use it for studying purposes.
How do you know that they can't do anything they want with it?
Well,
if it's just a spectator in the crowd.
I'm just talking about in LA, the Laugh Factory Comedy Store Improv. They will say, hey, can we post your show?
No.
No, you can't.
I was talking about just from the audience. Though. So you're talking about the establishment.
But I don't even let the club do it. But the person who records it owns it. It's just like the music business. They now own the master of your set.
Right.
So like clubs will tell you, I'm gonna record this for you so you can have it documented and you can do what you want. No, now you own it technically. That's why I got a good lawyer. I go in there to Larry, speak a language they understand. They messing with your money now. I prefer not to be recorded because what if I ad-lib something that's not appropriate, but it's just stay in a nightclub.
Right.
And now I'm misunderstood. And now I've alienated the very audience I want you to come in and see the set. Because I talk about transgender. I talk about being called transphobic, being called homophobic. I name some names. I talk about people that I've engaged with. When I did Club Shay Shay, Everybody figured out that me and Shannon, you know, two dark-skinned, muscular motherfuckers.
Hey man, when you did Club Shay Shay, right? When you saw Katt Williams get on Club Shay Shay, how did you feel about
You wanna go first?
You go first.
Katt Williams being on? And when he was like, "Come on, Katt," he was like, "Nobody gonna come." And he looked at it, he said, "They're all coming."
Yes.
When you saw that, there was a lot of truth in it, but I felt like a lot of things were thrown in the air and it was left there.
That's right.
And there was a lot of a lot of friendly fire too.
Yeah, it was a lot of truth, but it was also embellishment. But I will tell you, I remember Katt was Cat in the Hat. And I remember all of them was doing the same jokes about the little dude in the car or the car, and everybody
drove their car like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Premise might be the same. I even have one of them
in
my set. The premise might be the same. It's the joke. It's the setup and the punchline that makes it different. But one thing I love about what Katt did, he spoke his truth. But a lot of that stuff, I just don't like. Well, I asked Shannon when I did Club Shay Shay, I said, first thing I want to know, what is in the cognac that make these motherfuckers get at each other like bitches? Yeah. What is in there? What's making you bitch up where y'all talking against each other like some pussy ass? And then I had to correct myself because I just didn't like that gumpism. I didn't like, when did black men start doing this to each other?
Yeah.
Y'all supposed to sit down, chop it up, and squash it. You don't go after your brother like that. Minister Farrakhan talks about when they tried to get him to go at Marion Barry and he would not take the bait. And Minister Farrakhan, they said, what do you think about an immoral, drug addicted, blah, 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 being in politics? And Minister Farrakhan say, are you talking about President Kennedy?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, brother minister. So for me, I'm an old school, support black, no matter what. Well, we can't do, who we can't? Puffy.
Oh, yeah.
We can't.
Well, no matter what.
Do we need to vote right?
Yeah.
Some people take us there like the staple singers and we go, okay, we need to form a meeting and see, are we supporting this guy or what?
There.
Right. Candace Owen. You. Now, I'm a Republican. And I was like, bitch, you going too far with this shit. But would I get on TV? And I just think the one thing about Katt, he's very, very smart. He's a genius. Very loving, very helpful.
Generous.
Yeah, extremely generous.
Absolutely. But so is Kevin Hart. So is Steve Harvey. So is Cedric the Entertainer. All these guys, DL, all these people that have helped us when we needed help, and so when you go at them just for likes or eyeballs and stuff, is that the way we gonna do it? Because what happens is the man looks at, oh, well, they're fighting. Yeah. Well, we don't need any of them anymore. When George Lopez and Carlos Mencia were talking about each other, none of us could jump in that discussion. Okay. None of us as black comics could jump in that discussion. All we could do is look from the sidelines and go, well, I don't know. When before Joe Rogan became the Joe Rogan of this, Joe Rogan was putting up footage side by side of who was doing whose joke. Patrice O'Neal, Bill Cosby, Carlos, type in Joe Rogan, lighting people up back in the day. But that's part of being in the society, the fraternity sorority of comedy, right? That's part of it. But there's some fights we as black comics don't get into. We just laugh and go, that's fucked up. But that's fucked up what he said about
I watched from over here.
Yes.
What did you feel about Katt? The whole sit down.
It was very entertaining. I was upset a lot because I saw only sound bites at first, just the stuff that was and then I watched all 17 hours.
Yeah. That is.
And I was like, I saw where his anger came from. I saw where his frustrations came from. And of course, some of the stuff was embellished.
Yes.
And some of the stuff was very true. And some of the shit was prophetic. Like some of the shit I'm like,
yes.
How did he know? You know what I mean?
How do you not know? That's my thing. How do you not know? We've all been somewhere where when you see certain celebrities leave a party, that's when you go, all right, I'm out. I'm out. That's right.
When you see somebody do like this, all right, get my car.
I see y'all tomorrow on the set.
Have you ever been to a Puffy party?
Yes, we all have.
Yeah, I've been in locations, especially All-Star weekends and stuff, when I knew Puffy. And when we exchanged information and numbers, that was back in my hardcore sexual Def Comedy Jam, days. Uncle Luke, Uncle Luke was the first dude to say, sure, let me record some of your stuff and put it into music and everything. But you notice that Uncle Luke is not involved in any of this stuff. It's when you let this money and power go to your head when you think, because they saving, and this is my opinion, I believe they know what your weakness is and they let you keep doing it while you are making money for the enterprise. And once you do something, they don't make anything up about you. They just now step back.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
They got this receipt of it, and as soon as you start to challenge,
that's right.
And you want some ownership, or you want and then
that's right. That's right.
But the thing about the Diddy parties that we found out is it wasn't this big orgy and there's baby oil and people.
Right.
That's why everybody's like, you're at the Diddy party? Like, yeah, I never saw this. I never saw this. And everybody thought we were lying. No, because it ended up just being
like this.
Cassie, Diddy.
Dude,
and
I said the same thing.
You
go to Diddy's
but
parties.
You don't look like a dude that they not inviting you to the backroom shit.
Like
they
Chappelle said, I got snitch face.
Yeah, and when Chappelle said, I figured out I'm ugly.
That's it.
But I thought it was big. Because I've been to the All-Star parties. I've been to his 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
Puffed through some of the best parties.
Nobody better.
The best parties. And then people like, oh, you went? I'm like, man, I never heard of Freak Off.
Nope. Right.
I never seen no crazy shit, nothing like that. But when they start going to court, I was like, oh, this was much smaller.
Right. Well, listen, as a woman, one more motherfucker other than the motherfucker I like is too many motherfuckers.
Right.
If I'm feeling, if it's supposed to be 2 hands and I feel 4 hands, I didn't agree to this shit.
Who is this?
That's right.
What the Eliante?
That's right. Or like when they, like I've had dudes go, sometimes comedians, sometimes, business people, Sheryl, if you do this, wop, I could change your career. And I'm like, well, why I got to do this and still work? If I'm gonna give up that ass, I don't work no more, motherfucker. I don't charge. Do I run the girls? I run the girls if that's what I'm gonna do. But I believe once you lay down for something, you got to keep going to the highest bidder, or your stuff better be the bomb. And I talk about this in my show. My shit ain't good. My shit garbage. I got one move.
Has it always been garbage? Because we fantasize.
Listen,
because you was telling some jokes, and I think all of us in the audience was like, hold on.
Well, I'm gonna give it the good college try.
Right.
I'm out there winning one for the Gipper. You know what I'm saying?
You say your shit is garbage.
Yeah. No, I know how to make sandwiches and keep that beer cold and do that one thing I know how to do. They like, damn, I'm in love with Sheryl Underwood.
Do it well. Yeah. That's what you got to lock in on. You got to lock in on what you know.
I do it well.
You got to know
what are you the goat at?
Right. Do that. What about to go? And they say that bitch look like Lil Yachty. That bitch without that wig, that bitch looks like Lil Yachty, but she listen, made my toes curl.
Best tuna melt ever.
That's right. I listen to Lil Yachty music now, and I feel some type of way.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
You're fucking hilarious.
Hell yeah. But that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
What did Comic View mean to you guys as comics?
So
Eric, you did Comic View.
Yes.
Like,
Eric did it. Eric did like 8 years.
Yeah.
You did it when I host? Yeah, you did it when I host.
You did
Comic View, man. He's not even Mike's, please.
Yeah.
He'll be talking all off the shit, and I got to go grab a cordless mic for audience and shit.
That's it.
So for me in the beginning, I was of the mainstream room ilk. I was at the Improv in the Laugh Factory with Seinfeld and Rise.
Right, you said you were the main.
What are those niggas doing in Gardena?
I don't even go down there.
I don't go down there.
Right. So you said you were the main room.
I'm from England, but I never crossed Imperial. Right?
No, you didn't. So, you never crossed Imperial.
So I was just like, okay, there's this little itty bitty show. I'm doing this other shit, right? And then, as I watched, I saw all my peers on the show, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm way behind.
Who did you see?
Ricky and DL, of course, was the first host, and Chocolate.
Yes.
And Arnez and Bruce and Cedric. And I'm like, yo. So Chris Rock said it best. When I was doing the mainstream rooms, it was great laughs and you can get a standing ovation, but it ain't us.
Right.
Chris Rock said it best. He said, black people laugh with their feet.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I hated when I would go out around with Alex Thomas and Daryl Heath who did it. We would all do sets.
Yeah.
And people would go, you are stupid. Nigga, you a fool. And they would go, Chris, nice set.
Oh.
I don't want to hear a nice set from no crip. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want somebody to go, you ignorant, you a fool.
Yeah.
And so I knew I had to be in that community, and that community was Comic View.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I started doing the Comedy Act and the Fun House and Birdland.
Yes.
Because you had to get those legs.
Townhouse.
The Townhouse.
Townhouse.
That's really where I got my feet.
Yeah,
right.
Townhouse.
So you had the wherewithal to know,
oh yeah,
I gotta go get with it. And I think with you too, Chris, man, and also sure, there's these enoughs that we have to deal with. And it's like, you know, are you corporate enough?
Yes.
Are you hood enough?
Right.
Are you street enough? Are you black enough? Are you lady enough?
Spiritual
Are you
enough.
this
That's
enough?
right.
Yeah.
Spiritual enough.
Yeah, so there's all these enough. Sometimes that others don't have to deal with.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
They don't. And
you had to become that room and black
And that's what's
enough
great
and
about us,
hood.
because I can go right, I can cross over and go
That's
left.
right. That's
Right.
right.
I can pass.
I can no-look pass.
I can
to it.
rebound. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And so we do corporate. We do church
That's
shows.
right.
But we have to be able to do
Yes.
it. Because to me, like when my experience with Comic View, after I did the night that I auditioned for Def Jam, was it Ben Hill?
Yep.
Ben Hill.
Who is Bill Burr's wife's father.
Right. So he was booking Showtime at the Apollo Comedy Hour, and I think Uptown Comedy Club with Monteria, Ivy, and them.
Yep.
And so I got the offer to do those before I got the call to do Def Jam. They asked, was I still in New York, and would I be willing to do Def Comedy Jam? So when I did Def Comedy Jam, because they had heard about the set, and then I walked in to do the run through where Martin was reading the stuff. And, you know, I'm kind of reserved, you know, I'm not as, this is a personality, it's a part of my personality that's coming out on stage.
Right.
I'm really doing an impersonation of my father and my brother, but it's bigger, right? So I'm walking in, and I'm whispering, and I can hear people whispering, that's her, that's the girl. That's the girl that told the joke. So they say, what's your first joke? 2 drinks to get your dick sucked. What's your last joke? Bitches need to suck my dick. That was first joke, last joke. Everybody's whispering, that's her. That's the girl that was at the peppermint. That's the girl that's at the peppermint. So me doing that sense, that's right. Because I'm coming to do Def Comedy Jam.
Yes.
And they think there's 2 of me because I was married when I was in comedy, but then my husband dies and I go back to my maiden name. And so they think it's 2 people doing similar material. So they put it together. I'm one person and I'm doing that kind of set. Well, I do the set. It's going all over the industry. There's this girl out there that do comedy like a man. Then Comic View. Couldn't get on it. They thought I was too dirty.
Wow.
I was too street for Comic View. So I had to wait. And then I lost the host job, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. I lost to Montana Taylor. I lost to some more.
Wow.
And I feel like, first of all, we're all friendly competitors. As Black female comics, we're colleagues. So when they got it, I'm disappointed because I don't like to lose, you know, but I'm proud of do you, and that opens the door for me, right? So I get it, and by the time I get to host the Comic View, I now can do O.J. Simpson material, where I'm really doing an homage to Johnny Cochran. So what I'm saying this all to say, sometimes God is not telling you no, he's telling you not right now, right? So Comic View, for me, it legitimized my ability to do nightclub, street, hardcore, sexual humor, but then come to BET and then get on, what was the show? O-Drama.
All right.
With,
Kim Whitley and Jaleesa and Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Yeah. To be able to say the line, they talk, oh, we love each other. We love each other. No, we don't love each other. Wow, I've been talking to you back of your bitches' heads for 20 minutes because y'all don't like me. But that is what kept me real. Being on with Chocolate, though now she's Kachina, because I'm not trying to disrespect her, and Juanita Bynum on a talk show on BET where they're challenging my being a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And I get to say, with love and humor, I do not worship the God of Zeta. I worship God as a Zeta. So for me, I'm saying this, if it wasn't for BET, if it wasn't for Comic View, if it wasn't for these opportunities, I don't think I would have even gotten to ABC doing On The View and CBS being a host on The Talk. All of these doors are open.
That tuition into the school of experience for you guys is a motherfucker.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And then to be able to work with SAG-AFTRA because of what the pay structure was, but to also to make sure we are not marching against BET. We will not be doing it. We will sit across the table and talk. And look where they are now. What Miss Pat is doing with her career should be applauded, uplifted, and duplicated.
Is that a reason why y'all felt it was very necessary to go back and do what you're doing?
Yes.
With is it
Reunion.
the reunion? You come back to, you bring a Comic View to Inglewood. It's a great stage.
And this was all her idea.
Yeah.
This was all her idea. You know, we've done the
Whose
BT
idea?
experience. This young lady
Go
right
ahead.
here.
When Chris called me and you said you wanted me to do it.
Let me brag about you.
Okay.
So I called.
Right.
So last year we did the BT experience, and it was one night was Earthquake, one night was Tiffany Haddish, and then we did a Michael Blackson roast, right? And then so my partners, Sean and Derek Elliott, the Elliott brothers, I was like, who can we get? And I said, what about Sheryl Underwood? He goes, oh, she ain't gonna do it. I said,
Right.
Why did he say I wasn't gonna do it? Ooh,
I
this
think
is
I know
good.
why, but go
Expose.
ahead.
because you're Sheryl Underwood,
Mhm.
right? We don't see you.
Why?
Nigga, you ain't worked in LA since Carlos and Charlie's.
That's because I was going, you better know it. And then went over to Larry Parker's to get something to eat. I knew I was famous when my Def Comedy Jam set was on rotation.
At Larry
At Larry Parker's. They only played music videos. Remember that?
Right.
They only
Hell
played
yeah.
music videos, but my set was in rotation in Larry
So for those of you who don't know, before there was a Jerry's Deli
Oh
and
my
all the other
God,
places,
dude.
we used to go to Larry Parker's after the club
Yeah.
until Suge Knight. But
Yes,
that's nothing to do with the
right.
show.
That's right.
And
That's
so I go, I'll just call her. She said yes immediately, and then she had all these ideas that were
Yes.
astronomical. I'm like, she's better than me, right? The things she was thinking of was marketing and how we should, go on radios across the country and talk about this. So when people are coming to town for the BET Awards, they know that they have to also come to the Miracle Theater on
Right.
June 6th and 7th. And I just listened to her give me game, and I was like, wow. And she said yes. And
So the Miracle Theater,
Mhm.
June 6th and 7th,
Yes.
great spot in Inglewood.
Yes.
That's right.
And I love it. There's so much culture.
Yes.
That's right. And you know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that when this is, and it's going to be successful,
Mhm.
that BET, Live Nation,
Urban.
iHeart says every year
Yeah.
we start the BET experience with comedy. And all comics come back. We reunite. We can do some roast on different nights because we got to salute each other.
Yeah,
Where are we
absolutely.
saluting George Wallace? Where are we saluting all our OGs and let the new comics get their shine?
Right.
And different races of comics. Our brown brothers and sisters are just as good, but where's their shot with us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I want this to be so successful. And I'm going to say this to you, because remember you said you had the once a month?
Mm-hmm.
I want to join you in the once a month, because it's on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
What time does it start, though?
Black 7:30. 8
Oh,
o'clock.
damn. Oh, damn. Because I'll be in the bed by about 5:30. Listen, once the news come on, you try to get some ass off of me, you gotta hit me about 3:30. 3:30. The first go around of ABC News.
She's like, yeah,
You better
come back
get in
around
there.
about 3:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you better know. But for me, I want to join you in this, and then I want us to do this every year, to have a reunion and jump off the BET experience and the BET Award weekend with stand-up comedy.
Because Comic View was so good.
And we have
for
nothing
BET.
like that right now.
Not at all.
And listen, and don't get us wrong, there's some social media guys who
Yes.
are real students of comedy.
That's right.
King Batch and Desi and
Yes.
Ryan, DC Young,
DC Young Rock, Countrywide, all
Oh,
of them.
yeah,
Just
man.
me.
but they never got a chance to do Def Jam like us and
That's
Comic
right,
View
and
like
Comic View.
us and
Right.
Bad Boys. So it's great that we're having this reunion, and hopefully it will ignite BT to
say,
bring the
"Let's
show
do it."
back.
Yeah,
and
man.
take that material. And if you want to air it, because that's why I keep mentioning Miss Pat, her language is uncut.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do something, wouldn't it be great for people to fly in?
Mhm.
For all us big baller shot callers, all the street people, fly in early. Come out to see this. all the comedians that's in your area, come on. And then let's get it to a TV show. There's two things we should be able to do. Because Comic View was on 7 days a week. Remember that? It was on 7 days a week on BET. We can bring back that experience and then help these careers, especially all us old heads that need to get back on TV, want to do radio, want to do movies, want to do TV. We can do that. But a big party for a purpose and come to Inglewood and digest us with love and feed
Because when I
off
saw
us.
it, when you hit me, you was like, man, can we pop? I was like, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's not just the nostalgia.
Yes.
It's, and it's not charity. You know you're going to go have a guaranteed good night.
Yes.
And that's the one thing, because it's a full BET weekend.
Yes.
The experience, Fan Fest is going on. But the one thing that unites us all is music and laughter.
Music and laughter. And that's where you need to come in as a presenter. All of us need to be. Put us with the actor. Put us with the athlete.
At the actual award.
At the actual award show.
Right.
Why are we not presenting? We're part of that BET award community and NAACP award community. All of that. We're part of all of that. But it seems like the comic doesn't get invited. And we want to show them, we want to be part of this too. We want to stand next to Anthony Anderson, as iconic as he is as an actor. Monique as an actor. You're talking about the greatest actor coming out of stand-up comedy of our generation. When Monique did Preston.
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
And swept that award season and made us proud. Tiffany Haddish. So all that.
Yes, Jamie Foxx, Martin.
Yes. Oh, Jamie.
Man.
Yeah.
That's right. But I want to thank you for
Thank
this.
you, love.
Let me tell you what's great about you, young man.
Talk to me.
That's
is that, we are in this business and we deal with a lot of BS. But anytime I call you, you call right back.
Yeah.
Anytime you say, I want you to do this, we end up doing it. Like this is absolutely fantastic that you're doing this. And usually because I call myself the celebrity whisperer.
Yes.
Like I have tricks to get people to call me back, right?
Yeah, because I drove all the way out here.
Yeah.
All the way.
I could get them, but sometimes I have to use, I got to do this, and I got to compliment them on some shit that was from 20 years ago and say, I saw your shirt at the red carpet.
We was fighting earlier tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she
was mad at me. Oh, he was mad.
No, so
he was mad at
she
me.
reprimanded me, right?
I did not.
She was like, I said something, and she said, you got to fucking do this. I said, hey, you ain't got to I ain't reprimanding you, motherfucker.
Right.
This is about business.
This is about
money.
business, all right?
If we was moving weight, let's say, and what I say to you,
she said, listen,
we got a key
we got
to
a
move.
kilo. We got to sell this shit before Saturday.
These are the type of motherfuckers that
took it
had
to the
your
dope
baby
game.
sitting next door.
Hey man, did she stab you through your hand?
Let me tell you what.
Listen to me.
You
I was
funny
about to.
motherfucker.
She cussed me out and complimented me at the same time. Remember that scene in Straight Outta Compton when the dude came on the bus from Chris up here? That's what she did.
Yeah,
and as she did it, I was like, this is how women stay with dudes that abuse them. And she's abusing me, but it's beautiful.
Right. She
left
me though.
Back door across the
She
street.
cussed me out, hit me in my mouth, but then kissed me on my bloody lip.
And wait.
That took me to the hospital.
Did I do the I tell the bitch if you die, I kill you? Listen.
I started off mad and she kept saying, you my brother. I was like this.
I was like, no, this is a great opportunity. But the next thing I want you to do, the next time I come back here, I need you to do some pop the balloon dating shit in here. Find me somebody to love.
Right.
Somebody with money in the state of California. Because I meet everybody out of the other states. I need somebody here.
Yeah. She said pop the balloon.
Pop the balloon. What would you do as a dating show?
I don't do, man, that pop the balloon shit is, who would have known? Now they got Netflix.
Yes.
So big.
But what would you do? How would you match up? You do the Billy T. Williams, you want my arm to fall? That'd be so slick. That'd be slick.
You want my arm to fall off?
That'd be so
Was he not the smoothest?
Yeah, that'd be some slick. Okay, if a dude like you, he hang you $20. Oh, that's the dating show. That big boy dating show. It's got big boy.
Don't give too much away on here, though.
Some of this.
The motherfuckers are watching. You know what I'm
We
saying?
shoot it right in here.
We got Arsenio here taking notes and shit like,
This is big boy buy a bitch for love. Had to be $20.
Two tricks to get your dick sucked.
Yeah, right. You better know it.
Man, it is a pleasure
Thank you.
having y'all down here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, man.
Absolutely.
And once again, Comic View, is how many, what's the years? 25, 30?
Yeah.
This is the 40th year of BET.
Correct.
And I think it's the 30-something year of Comic View.
Yes.
Man, some great people that
And so to
pass
actually
through,
have
man.
a host.
And we gotta make sure that this becomes a thing.
A regular
It's a
thing.
thing.
To have Ricky Smiley fly in
Yes.
Right.
off of that foolish.
His special. Have you seen his special?
No.
It's killer. It's great. And
Hey, man.
We've been begging him for
with
20 years to do a special.
everything that he's been going through, right?
Yes.
He got in his comedy bag.
Yeah, sure did. Sure did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's
Sure
what we
did.
say sometimes too. Comedy can come from a dark place, can come from a
Absolutely.
painful
Tragedy
place.
plus time.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and then you think like, man, I remember one of my buddies, his son passed at the age of 5, right?
My
And he
Lord.
has the most beautiful laugh, my guy
Mhm.
Jose. And I remember, I was like, when will he have that authentic laugh?
That's right.
You know, and it's back. Nothing is taken away.
Right.
But I see that with Ricky as well. There's
Yes.
this like, I need something. And as I'm getting this,
Yes.
I could present
Wait
it.
till you see him
Nourishment.
Friday and Saturday.
Nourishment.
He's got new stuff that he hasn't even done.
Hadn't
on,
even
that he didn't do
done
on the
that he's
special.
gonna do.
That's gonna do.
At this show. And I think, and I will tell you this, it's the fact that we can all work everywhere. The gospel space, the
Yes.
spiritual space,
Mhm.
the nightclub space, the corporate space.
Mhm.
Ricky Smiley is one of the greatest. That's why I want comics to squash beef
Mhm.
before somebody passes. Wanda Smith passes, Katt and Wanda should have squashed it before somebody passed. We're all getting older now. Squash it. Whatever's happening, squash it. Shake hands and let's fight together to get this money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Let's fight to pay our mortgages. Let's fight to put our kids through school. We shouldn't be beefing against each other, but if there is a beef, squash it.
And
Right.
then what's crazy, we know we can produce the numbers.
Yes.
When you look
Absolutely.
at the
Yes.
numbers,
Yes.
I'm like, look at these numbers. If it
Yeah.
would have, but of course we like looking over at the auto, the
Yeah.
crash scene.
Yes.
And we love that, and we love the
Yes.
clickbait.
Sure.
Yes.
But can you imagine if
Yes.
we just said, man, we gonna cover each other. I'm gonna
That's
lift
right.
you, then you
Right.
lift
That's
here, and then
right.
somebody in the room saying something crazy. I got you covered there.
That's
like,
right.
man, and we've seen it happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's
We've
what
seen
you
it
do.
done.
That's
Yeah.
what you do. You are the most diplomatic. You are the guy who settles it down.
Mhm.
You're like this
Yeah.
calm spirit
Mhm.
that
You're Switzerland.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
right.
Well, can we say another country other than the white one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm just gonna.
Right.
All my fans in Switzerland.
Carson.
Love you. What? You Carson?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
You'll never hear about Carson having no beef with nobody.
beef
Right.
with nobody. Right. No beef with no. But you're the guy. There's stuff that we don't say in front of you because of your spirit
Mhm.
and because of your demeanor. We're not gonna talk about monkey fucking somebody in front of Big Boy because that ain't how you roll. That
Well,
ain't
you
how
just said it, but that's
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Not sure if you know.
And sometimes you do want to
Well,
get a little
you know.
monkey fucking.
Well,
you know what I'm
listen,
saying?
if you don't monkey fuck the bitch, I like to beat her.
You know what
I
I'm
like to
saying?
shake her hand. and go, you took that like a soldier.
You
Yeah,
a bad
like a
bitch.
Yeah, you bad bitch.
Yeah. Man, but thank y'all for hanging out with me,
Thank you for
man.
letting us come
It
out.
is such a pleasure,
Thank
man.
you.
And
Thank
we're gonna do this again.
We're
We're
gonna
not
do
just
this
gonna
again.
throw it in the
Dating
air and
show.
leave it there. There it is, man. Thank you guys. And everybody that's over here chilling as well.
And all you guys can come to the show June 6th and 7th, the Miracle Theater in Inglewood. Everybody also says this, and I got to explain to them. They go,
Right.
y'all don't want to go down there. I go, listen, it's not the gangbangers.
Right.
It's the gangbangers' parents.
Right.
Oh.
And that right there is beautiful.
Yeah.
From the parking, the walk around, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Inglewood is coming up.
Yeah.
But we
and,
want some gangbangers. We want Kilo, Man, Junebug, and them.
and them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Settle it down. Settle it down.
I
Come
like the ones who
alive.
got 2 strikes, so they usually kind of.
That's
Right. They got something to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But remember, you right across the street from law enforcement, so change the license plates when you get there. Ride with somebody else. We
Hell
don't want
yeah,
you-
man. Uber in if you can.
That's right. That's right. We don't want you to be a political prisoner of the United States
Tell me
government.
about it.
That's-
We
you
seen a
better
lot of
know.
that already.
Right.
Sheryl Underwood, thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
coming into the
having me.
neighborhood and
Thank
just
you.
hanging out with us,
Love
hanging
it.
out. And Chris, always a
Love
pleasure,
you,
bro.
man.
I think I see you. I don't know how much I'm going to see you now that my son is done.
My daughter
with basketball,
just
but-
graduated.
Really?
Chris
Just
Spencer,
both
thank
of our
you so
kids
much, man. Thank
same
you guys for hanging out with us,
Yeah.
man. We are gone.